Matole.
The level of racing that he's achieved is extremely rare. The quality fields that he's beat. That's what makes him the fastest horse in the world.
The final time was a new stakes record. Matole, he did it again! Matole's a monster! Matole wins the sprint! Oh, what a horse he is! The mighty Matole!
Another gorgeous morning at Del Mar. I'm Mike Welsch, coming to you with the Daily Racing Form Breeders' Cup Workout Report, brought to you by Spendthrift Farm. Things really got busier here this morning, not on a workout standpoint, only 2 recorded works today, but the arrivals of the New York horses, the arrivals of the Europeans, or coming out of quarantine, the Europeans. We got to see a lot more horses on the racetrack today, and that will increase exponentially as we move forward further in the week. As for the 2 works, there were 2 works we expected to see. The typical Steve Asmussen 5 days before a big race works for Max Player and Snapper Sinclair, and both were kind of very similar, actually. Both horses went in 50 flat, 25, 50 even moves, going easily. Just what you expect to see from this barn moving into a big race. Both horses looked fine this morning. 2 other horses didn't get credited with official works, but kind of stretched their legs a little bit. They were both trained by Chris Davis. Both are going to run in the juvenile. First, American Sanctuary. The second one was Tough to Tame. From the wire out, American Sanctuary went 28 around the turn. Not enough for a recorded work. Actually, you could have recorded a work on Tough to Tame. From the 8th pole, also around the turn, 3/8 of a mile. I had him in 39 and change. So a little bit more activity from those 2, but not enough to make the official tab. Again, it's the new horses we saw today, the New York horses, the Euros, that of a lot of interest. Trainer Chad Brown now on the scene. I think he's got 10 Breeders' Cup horses here. They all went to the track to train this morning. Most of them showing, or I guess all of them showing, no ill effects from the long flight here on Sunday. Some of the ones that made the most impression on me, My Sister Nat and Domestic Spending, after the renovation break, both were really full of run, especially My Sister Nat pulling the rider. He had all he could do to keep her from going too strong. Also earlier, Jack Christopher, he always makes a good appearance, and he looked good in his first day here at Del Mar. Had his ears up as he came through the wire. Looked very happy here to be at Del Mar, like most of us are. The weather terrific, everything is great, and we're ready for the Breeders' Cup. Early this morning, Portfolio Company, if you've seen his races, he gets a little rank during the early stages of his races, and he was a little rank during the early stages of his gallop. Looked like he was in runoff mode down the backstretch, but his rider finally got him to come to hand, and he settled some as he came through the stretch, as he'll need to do in the juvenile turf. Also this morning, Tribuven for Chad Brown. I thought he looked good today too. He's been working with Domestic Spending back in New York and holding his own, if not maybe even a little better than Domestic Spending. So that bodes well. He's going to be a long shot in his race. But I think Tribuven is coming into the Breeders' Cup about as good as he can be. Also Royal Flag. I thought she made a great appearance this morning as she readies herself for the distaff. As for the Todd Pletcher group, Life is Good was about the first horse out on the racetrack this morning at 5:30 when the track opened. And later, though, the one I really liked the best was Malathat. I thought she looked terrific today. She was galloping right in front of Domestic Spending and My Sister Nat. And as fast as they were trucking along and moving as the typical Chad Brown gallops, open gallops almost, she was keeping pace with them without any problem and looking like she did it effortlessly. So it was a great day for Malathat, as she will take on a tough task, obviously, in the distaff, but I think she's going to be a key player and one we want to keep an eye on as we progress through the remainder of the week. Now, as I said earlier, the Euros are out of quarantine, and a whole bunch of them are on the track today, maybe about a dozen of them. 9 came out in a row right away around 8:10, and then several others filtered on later. On hand and on the track this morning were Tarnawa, who won the turf last year, or Daraya, I hope I'm saying this right, but you know who I mean, the upset winner of last year's Philly and Mad Turf, and also Glass Slippers, who's the defending Turf Sprint Championship. They were all out on the track this morning, as well as a couple of others that I thought I really liked the most was Sistefan, who was a German invader, a Group 1 winner in Germany. I thought she really had a good morning. She was happy. She went around. She spent a long time out on the racetrack, just kind of prancing around, looking around, and seemed to have a good time. So a big long shot in the race coming over here, but in the turf. But one, again, another one we'll keep an eye on and see how progresses as the week moves forward. The turf course, surprisingly, I thought was not open this morning. It'll be open, I think, the rest of the week, or at least Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It'll be interesting to see when these European horses and some of the locals, the turf specialists, get out there on the grass. We're expecting some more works. The Japanese horses, there's 7 of them here, I believe. You watch them out on the racetrack. You see them out on the track. You turn your head for a while, and then you come back, and there they are again a half hour later, 45 minutes later. They spend a long time out on the racetrack, all of them. I know some are scheduled to work here on the grass tomorrow, so looking forward to that as well. So like I said, more and more of the horses are going to start coming in. The Kentucky horses should be on the grounds tomorrow. I think they're flying here this afternoon. So looking forward for the rest of the weeks. Not a lot as far as workouts go, but still a lot to see and a lot to learn as we get closer and closer to Breeders' Cup 2021.